Hello everyone and welcome. So let's talk about Middle-earth for the final time. You know, who really knows in this weird, strange movie world, universe, studios we live in today, where movies are rebooted, rehashed, retold, restylized, reimaginated. You know, who really knows if we'll ever revisit Middle-earth ever again. But this is the final time I believe we revisit The Hobbit, especially in movie form. Tonight I had a chance to go to a press screening of The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies, thanks to some really great friends at We Love Film. I met up with Dan, who writes for the site, and we saw the film. And what I learned from a press screening, this is actually the first press screening that I've really ever been to where it's all press and their families. What I learned is that the press, the movie press, or whoever writes for movie press, are as messy as the regular normal audiences that go to the theaters every week. That's what I learned the most about this screening. Man, was that theater trashed. Anyways, so let's talk about The Hobbit. Now, I'm a huge fan of this movie series. Yes, I wasn't as pumped up as I was for the first part of the film. I mean, at one time, this movie was going to be put into 2 parts, and then it was turned into 3, and I really loved the first film. I know it was simple and crazy and a lot of stuff that kind of went on and on and on forever, but I just loved the emotions that it created in my mind, and it was fun to be back. It almost been 10 years since we had been back in movie form to Middle-earth, and then the second movie came out, and it was, I don't know, I think it was shorter, but it felt a lot longer. And I remember the only thing that I really absolutely loved about that film was Schmog by Benedict Cumberbatch. That was definitely worth the almost 3-hour wait. Now with this new film, it is 2 hours and 24 minutes, and it takes place right after the ending. If you've seen the ending of Part 2, then this takes place right after Part 2. We get right back into the action. That's what I really loved about this film from the get-go. We get right into what Smaug is doing to the town. I don't remember the name of the town. I never read the book. I'm not a aficionado when it comes to Lord of the Rings or the universe of Middle-earth. I'm just a fan of the movies and the cartoon. I love The Hobbit, the cartoon, so I know what happens in the cartoon, and I had a feeling I knew what was going to happen in this film. Now we get in the beginning was just an amazing, even before we get the title of the movie. We do get The Hobbit, but then this amazing, elaborate action sequence with Benedict Cumberbatch as Schmog and the town. It was just, it was exciting. It was like we're getting right in there. It's almost like it was like the Bond, you know. And when you see a Bond movie, you get to see the action sequence, and then you get to see the credits, and then it goes into the other movie. That's kind of what it felt. You know, we got to see this really exciting action sequence that had some amazing special effects, the great voice of Benedict Cumberbatch, and then we get to see the title, and then we get to meet the dwarves and see the Hobbit again, and see all the characters, Gandalf. And this movie, of course, revolves around this huge army. The movie is called The Battle of the Five Armies, and that's what you're going to see. Again, it's a very short film compared to all the other movies. Now, I wonder how long it's going to be when the extended cut comes out, but when that comes out, we'll probably have, The Hobbit will probably be around 9 hours or so. So look forward to that. I haven't bought it on Blu-ray yet, but I'll probably, once it's all in some nice packaging, I'll probably get it and enjoy in my own home room, watch all 3 films as one film, because that's probably what it should have been. Maybe not a 9-hour film, maybe a 4-hour, maybe a 5-hour film, but whatever. It's Peter Jackson. He loves his big epicness. And what I will say is this movie is extremely epic, and they did save the best for last. Even though I was not as emotionally connected to the story or the characters as I was with the Two Towers and Return of the King and the first installment of The Hobbit, it was more exciting and well-paced compared to the second film. The second film dragged a lot. This movie didn't drag for me at all. It was exciting. It just got rolling and kept on going and going and going to an ending that was very bittersweet. Now, if you've read the book, you know where this is going, you know what's going to happen to some of the characters. And I knew because of watching the amazing cartoon that I own in my collection on DVD. Love that film. Love the little cartoon film from the 70s, I believe, from the 70s. And they did a really great job in compiling that into an hour and 15 minutes or so. And I think Peter Jackson has done a good job to compile this into almost a 9-hour film. You know, just the music by Howard Shore, the great production design, the credits go on forever. The closing credits will go on forever. Don't expect anything at the end, but the closing credits goes on forever, and you can see all the talented people that worked so hard over the course of many years to make both Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And this is a great closing film of this Hobbit series, leading up to what happens in The Lord of the Rings. And I remember as the ending was happening, I'm not going to go in detail what happens at the end. I do think it's a better ending, even though I'm not mad about that Return of the King kind of ended and then ended and then ended. I like how this movie ended. I really enjoyed it. I just want to say I really enjoyed how this film actually ended. It wrapped up really nicely. It was very bittersweet. And as it was happening, I was like, oh, I hope it ends this way. And then it did, and I was like, thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. It just came off really nice and bittersweet, and it definitely was going to make people want to bring out their collection. You know, I have the nice collection on DVD with, 9,000 discs to it, and it makes me want to just watch it right now and experience The Lord of the Rings all over again. I really enjoyed The Hobbit. I love the first part the most, but I think this is the best part because it just leads up to all the characters as these five armies come together and battle it out. And, just really exciting stuff. The special effects is great, though a lot of it looks like special effects. I'm not saying the CGI is bad. I'm just saying it looks like special effects, but it's really crisp. It really looks nice, and we kind of have come accustomed to this look over the course of the last couple of years with all these films. And I will mention that I did see it in 3D, and I got these really nice glasses. I think each glasses were one of the armies. I think mine is the Eagles. But these are the cool glasses that I received. I did see it in 3D tonight. And what I'll say about the 3D, it's not bad, it's not good, but I think that you can skip it and just see it in regular 2D because the movie just looks great. It's a great looking film. Peter Jackson, again, is one of the best directors working today and so successful. Now that he's done with Middle-earth and Lord of the Rings, though if someone else should make a film and he produce it, or write it, I would like for him to do that, or maybe executive producer and let somebody else take over. That would be nice. But I think now he's done, I would love to see him move on to something else. Come up with something original. Let's see something like Bad Taste, or Dead Alive, or Meet the Feebles. That's the Peter Jackson I want to see now. I want to see him go back to his roots. Some of the best films he's made in his early career. And I would even like him to tackle something like Heavenly Creatures, where he tackles a true story. That's kind of shocking. But anyways, great glasses. I'm glad I have them. They're definitely going to be in my collection next to the Blu-rays that I purchase whenever those come out of the extended cuts. So I don't know how long this is going to be when the extended cut comes out, but I'm guessing maybe 10-20 minutes longer because it's a pretty short film, but it goes by really fast, gets right to the action, and there's some parts that I was kind of emotionally connected to, but I wanted to be really emotionally connected on a whole. I wanted it to... I wanted to forget that I was watching a fantasy world. I wanted to believe in this real world. And I think Peter Jackson and his team did a good job. I just wish I was more in there and be like, wow, oh my gosh. But, maybe that's just a little nitpicking. Overall, it's a well-made film. It's a well-made movie series. It's a really long one, and you have to have a lot of patience, but I think a lot of stuff that's happened in the first two films really lead up to this movie and make this film very exciting, very fun to watch. And I will admit, there's a lot of comic relief with all the drama and action. There's some really great characters that build up comic relief, and I think the entire cast, everybody who survived the last two films, you get to see them, and they're just great. It's a great ensemble piece of great actors, great artists, great filmmakers coming together and bringing us one of the better films of 2014. A great film. And I'm looking forward to sitting down in my room and watching it and enjoying it with some nice friends and, be able to maybe pause it and talk about it as we watch it instead of just sitting there watching it, Anyways, I'm rambling on. Thank you so much for watching. Check it out. It comes out in about a week. I know you're going to go see it whether I liked it or not. I'm going to give The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 stars out of 4. I'm MovieManCHAD. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, and please go to WeLoveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. Also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association right here on Facebook and Twitter. Please also go to MoviePile.com, and if you enjoyed this video review, please click right here, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know, what do you think about The Hobbit? Are you excited for this final chapter? Have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comment box below. I'd really appreciate it. I want to start a dialogue. And what is your favorite Lord of the Rings movie? Mine might be The Two Towers because I love all the stuff that happens with Gollum and the introduction of Gollum. Maybe that's why I like the first movie so much. The first Lord of the Rings movie, because there's that big, awesome cameo of Gollum. Anyways, have a great day, a wonderful night, and a wonderful life, and I'll talk to you in my next movie review. Bye, everyone. Peace be with you, my friends.